Hi, my name is Quentin, member of the I Collective and member of the Frog Lake Cree First Nations located in Alberta, Canada, and welcome to my home in Tokyo, Japan. Today we're going to be doing squash. The recipe itself is going to be an adaptation to the original recipe, which is the squash pudding bar. Now, the challenge for me here is I don't have access to a lot of the original ingredients that are used in the recipe, so this is a great opportunity to just do a variation of the recipe using other ingredients to show how, or other ingredients that can be used to produce the same recipe, just different ingredients. So here we go. What we have here is, I have our ingredients already laid out. We have tapioca flour, blue cornmeal, walnuts, salt, allspice, some baking soda, ground ginger, cinnamon. We have maple syrup, eggs, and our squash. And then right here, because I'm unable to source pepitas in bulk, I actually, when roasting off this squash for the recipe, saved the seeds, dried them out, gave them a light roast so that we can use them for the garnish instead. And then we also have some jam that's going to be used in the recipe. We're just going to put these off to the side for right now. And because we're doing this at home, and because you will as well, I also have my cheat sheet just to make sure that, one, I'm on track and you can follow along with what we're doing here. Alright, so first thing I've done is I've gone ahead, preheated my oven to 350, and today I'm going to be using a non-stick springform pan. And the first thing I'm going to do is, even though it is non-stick, I'm going to just lightly dust it with some tapioca flour. And to do that, the easiest way is I've already oiled it, taken some tapioca flour, popping that in. I'm just going to make a mess as we do this. Lightly get everything done on the sides. Tap everything out into the bowl. And that's ready to go. Save that flour to be used for later. Remember to clean as you go. And we're ready to start. Very, very straightforward recipe to do. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take one bowl. We're going to combine all the dry ingredients. So the recipe calls for cornmeal. I don't have cornmeal, so we're going to use blue cornmeal. And again, if you have blue cornmeal, use it. If you don't and you have red, use it. It's up to you. That's the beauty of a recipe, is you can make adaptations. The recipe also calls for ground pepitas. I don't have, so I'm actually using ground walnuts that I've lightly roasted, and we're going to add that instead. And then we're going to be using tapioca flour. The recipe calls for cassava flour, but I don't have access to cassava flour here. Tapioca flour does come from cassava as well. The only difference is it doesn't utilize the entire plant, so the strength or the thickening power of it isn't 100% as to what it would be as cassava flour. So the recipe actually calls for 1 cup. I've actually added an additional ½ cup to it just to help get, or try to get the same result as you would with using cassava flour. And then we have here the other dry ingredients that we're adding. take a whisk, just whisk that together. Done. Next thing, wet ingredients. We have the squash puree, and what I did here was I've taken the squash, seeded it. This is a combination of a butternut squash and some local squash here in Japan. Cut it in half, seeded it, flesh side down, skin side up, into the oven, about 400 degrees for about 30 minutes until it was fork or knife done. Let it rest, scooped it out, gave a masher to my son, and I just let him have some fun with it. We have our eggs. We have maple syrup. Then from here, we're going to take the whisk, break up the eggs. We're just going to combine everything together. One thing to help when you do this is make sure your ingredients are room temperature. It's going to help with the cooking process and to make sure that it doesn't take as long to cook, and it's going to even everything out as well. So mix that up, and from here, dry ingredients. And from here, just gently start combining. And once you've got everything started to come together, then you can just give it a little more vigorous or aggressive whisk. And then from here, I'm just going to give this another tap out. We're going to take all of this, spatula, place everything in to the pan. And then from here, all we're doing is just gently shaking it down, making it even. And then we're going to put our garnish on. Recipe calls for about half a cup of jam. And what we're doing is, I have here just some raspberry jam. And we're just going to take a couple scoops or spoonfuls, randomly place it in. And then we're going to take a butter knife, and we're going to place the butter knife in the center of the jam and into the mix itself, and we're going to be doing swirls, giving it a bit of a marble effect. And from here, it's up to you with how you like to do it. You can go into great detail, or just like that, simple. Give you a quick little preview if I can, without spilling it. And then we have the pumpkin seeds. I'm going to take them, sprinkle them on top. Try to showing you one more time here. All right. Now, what I've done, or what I like to do personally, is pop it onto a bake sheet. Why? Very simple. It's a lot easier to take out a bake sheet than it is something round like this, especially when you have my problem and oven mitts don't fit. So that goes into the preheated oven. This is going to take roughly 30 minutes. We're going to cook it until it's set, a little bit of jiggle, and it starts to pull away from the sides. So we'll see you in about 30, maybe 40 minutes. Hi there. So total cooking time has been 40 minutes, and the cake itself has pulled away from the sides. It's set with a little bit of jiggle. And we have here the finished product. Now, if you're going to be doing this, say in a half-baked sheet, like for example this pan itself, total cooking time is going to be about 30 minutes, give or take 5 minutes depending on your oven. And what we have here is the finished product. Now what we're going to do is, rather than cut into this right away, we're going to let it cool completely, and we're going to come back, cut into it, present it, and taste it. Alright, see you soon. Now, what we have here, as you can tell in my hand, is a fully cooled squash pudding bar, or at least the full portion. Now, what I've done here is I've taken a paring knife. I've already gone around the edge just to help release it. From here, undo the spring, lift it up, and this is what we have. Gluten-free, which is fantastic. Everything with regards to this recipe that we've done is pre-colonial, indigenous ingredients, so that's a plus. And now it's just a matter of plating it up. We're going to do two different types here of plates just to show you the difference, and just going to have some fun with it. Going to take a French knife here, or a chef's knife, whatever you have. We're going to cut into it. We're going to do 2 slices. First one we're going to bring out. And that's what we have. To me, that looks pretty darn good. Now, let's have a little bit of fun here. I'm going to take another plate. What I've done is I've saved some of the ground walnuts, and we're just going to place that on the plate like so. We're going to take the other slice here. That out. And then what I've done is I've actually taken a couple spoonfuls of the jam, about a tablespoon of water just to thin it out. Give it a little bit of a swirl. And just some fresh sage. Voila. Just something simple, easy to do, simple, and if you want to please a family member or a loved one, a little, little bit of extra goes a long way. But if you ask me, this is what I've been waiting for. I strongly suggest you give this a try. Thanks for coming.